Hey, Frannie, how are you doing today?
I am having the time of my life. How are you doing?
Fine, thank you. Um, what was it like having to go back and you revisited everything last night? And I talked to a lot of survivors, and sometimes that's gives them kind of mixed emotions. How were you feeling watching everything play back last night?
Yeah, no, I'm sure you've had to have some like very hard conversations with some very upset people. This is not going to be like that. I had
Um,
so much fun. Like honestly, those last couple of days that I was in the game meant the world to me and were just full of
right.
so much like joy that I was just laughing the whole time watching it back.
Now, at the time, going into last night's vote, we obviously saw your exclamation about how surprised you were. What was your thinking going into that? How did you think things were going to fall? Were you really surprised by the turn of events?
Yeah, so I knew for sure that my name was out there. I was expecting to
Right.
see my name, right? Like how could it not be? For me, the most important conversation before tribal council was that one that you saw with me, Carolyn, Lauren, and Jamie, where we're
Right.
standing
Right.
around and we're like, why are we so anxious? Like, what is going on? Like, why are we so confused? And then we just say, okay, how about this? Change it right now. Let's vote Heidi. That conversation happened maybe 10 minutes before tribal council.
Wow.
So
Right.
yeah, so it was very, very last minute. And so I took that pretty seriously because I think that happens a lot in Survivor where like the last conversation, that's the
Yeah.
thought that's sticking in people's heads. That's what
Right.
happens. So I mean, I genuinely thought that Heidi was going to go home that night. And it's a testament to the rest of them, right? How
Right.
solid their plan was that even a crazy last minute decision like that didn't shake what they were doing.
Right. Now, looking back over the game, I mean, there was a turning point for you where there was that challenge, and you could have threw the second part and saved Matt. I spoke to Matt about it, and he said, I understand. I wish things would have turned out differently, but I totally understand. What was your thinking going ahead? Was there any moment where you said like, where you put all the pieces together, or were you just a lot of times when people are competing, they're just in the moment, right?
Yeah, I was thinking of I mean, that was a 45-minute challenge. I had a lot of time to think about a lot of things.
Right,
Um, yeah, I looked at that group and it is not the best group for Matt, right? I think all of the
right,
people who were most sympathetic to Matt were in my group. I loved my
right.
group. I was like, you guys are fun. Um, but like Matt was doing very well socially at the beginning of the merge. Of course,
Right,
that's what ends up making him a target for people is that everybody
right,
loves him. But
right,
I was like not that concerned about him because he had also, we were kind of trying to build a relationship with Brandon. I felt like there was
right.
some trust there. We've had this relationship with Jamie from Soka, and I thought that he was going to be able to pull it out. So, in that moment as well, if I have the opportunity to, be like an NFL player, like I'm going to do it and, give myself and five other people who I'm trying to work with in this game
Right.
safety and food. I can't be mad at that.
Now, when I spoke to Matt, he updated us on you guys on how things are going.
Yeah.
Congratulations. What does it mean to have somebody like that in the game? And how did you struggle with that? Because we saw various clips of you trying to talk us through your thoughts and putting game, emotion, bonds. And a lot of times, survivors do have issues with it's comparing, correlating the game to the personal bonds they have with people, because again, these aren't chess pieces, these are real people that you spend 24 hours a day with, right?
Yeah, it was very, very hard. I mean,
Yeah.
genuinely, getting into a showmance is like the absolute last thing I would have ever expected to happen to me. Like, it's so out of character for me. It literally, I mean, coming
Right.
home, I tell my family and friends, like, I have a boyfriend now. And everybody's like, wait, what? So it was so hard because, the whole
Yeah.
time I'm trying to stay in the game. I'm trying to play this game that I've waited to play for years. So I was mentally fighting it. I was like, not here, not now. Like, this can't be happening. But Matt and I just have such a like genuine and real
Yeah.
connection that we could not help ourselves. Like, it is exactly like two dorky magnets.
Yeah.
It transcended the game. And did it knock me off my rocker a little bit and mess up my strategy? For sure. But like, obviously, I'm so happy with how it played out.
Well, yeah, and he explained to me that, you did try to hide it, but it was impossible because everybody, we saw the comments on the show, everybody could just see it because again, when two
Yes.
people come together and they're so connected, you can't look past that. Um, what did it mean to you to have him in the game? And also you could see him on the jury. So when you sat down, you could see there was still that connection going there, right? It must have meant a lot to you to have somebody you can like trust 100%.
It was incredible. I mean, you never think that you're going to find that. And very early, we looked at each other and we looked into each other's souls and we were like, I trust you. Like that I never once even considered that he would lie to me about a single thing, right? And I was
Right.
honest with him about everything as well. So having that just like it was very stabilizing for me, right? It kind of, was this safety net where I felt really comfortable. And then when he goes, I'm completely destabilized. I mean, you saw I cried for like 4 hours. I'm hungry, I'm tired. I'm like, wait, where's that boy going? So it meant the world to me to see him on the jury bench and see him smiling at me and know that he wasn't like, curse you for winning the challenge. It was so special.
Yeah, it was nice of him to say that, the reason why he gave that confessional was to say, I understand completely what was it like to reunite with him upon him? I mean, that must have been a moment for sure.
Oh my God, it was incredible. Like I'm coming off the boat coming into Ponderosa. I think
So
Brandon
was
came
this like
back.
something from a movie? Was this something from a movie?
No. I think it was actually in slow motion. Like in real life, I think it was in slow motion. I'm running up the boardwalk and I'm like, yeah, and I jump into his arms. It was so special.
Oh.
I was like, this is why we need the Ponderosa video.
And again, I mean, that's these bonds are once in a lifetime, and when there's that connection, you feel it right into here. Um, on the opposite end of things, you were kind of up and down with Daniel, back and forth, back and forth. What was it like to work with him? And were you surprised that obviously you didn't see all the machinations going on behind the scenes last night? You weren't privy to any of that. What was it like to see all of that finally unfold and you to finally be able to process that?
Yeah. Well, first of all, I mean, it was a delicious hour of television to watch people be like, Frannie's too good. She needs to go. Like, I wasn't mad about any of those
Oh,
conversations. I was like, say it again, say it again. But yeah, so Danny was really interesting to work with because you can kind of see it last episode
yeah,
where I bring up I think these Tika members are playing the middle. Like, should we try to organize something
right.
against them? And
Yeah,
he immediately is like, that's illogical. Like, we can't do that. Like, Danny's strategic style is he gets an idea in his head that he believes is the like logical solution
yeah,
and like will not deviate from that.
right,
And
right,
I'm somebody who like I like to be flexible and adaptable and
right.
like talk through a lot of things. And so it was hard for me sometimes to work with him strategically because we just like did not mesh in that way.
Right, right.
Yeah.
Now, I asked this of all the survivors I've ever spoken to because, again, we only get to see part of your journey on, there's only they film 24 hours a day, but we can only see such a small amount. Is there anything about your journey, whether it was a moment with someone, a strategic thing, a moment with the tribe? Was there anything that you wished they would have shown about your journey?
Yeah, I mean, first of all, I'll just say, I mean, they were so kind to me. Like, I'm
Right.
so happy with what they showed. All those moments with Matt, I mean, I've thought about those for months. I did not think that I was going to get to see those on screen. And I'll tell you, Matt and I started holding hands long before the merge.
Well, the best part is it's all documented. You guys can always go back now.
I've watched those scenes an embarrassing number of times. I've got them on loop in my house. They're just running. But yeah, I mean, we all had so much fun together. Like,
Yeah.
like we were just silly. I mean, we would play games, we would like cry from laughter on a daily basis. And these people, like every one of them is just so great. Like I could not have asked for a better group of people to go through this experience with.
Now, one final question. Obviously, you've made the merger. Now you've made the jury, which is an accomplishment in itself. A lot of people don't. Um,
Mhm.
that's a very large responsibility, and a lot has to go into obviously thinking about who you're going to decide who wins the season. Now, obviously, you can't tell us who you chose, but can you tell us what was some of the aspects and things that went into your mind when you were making that really crucial decision?
Right, right. Yeah, first of all, it's a hard transition, right? From being in the game,
Right.
having strong opinions about who you're working with, who you're not, who you trust, and then all of a sudden, I need to be like completely objective, right? I did not want to, bring into my role as a jury member all of my like personal feelings about who I like, who I don't like, whatever. Like I was taking
Right.
this very, very seriously. So for me, it becomes a game of trying to assess who has information and who has agency to use that information to their advantage,
Right.
and who can demonstrate that to me at final tribal council. So for me, I mean, I feel like a big part of why I went out is because I did not have all the information was flowing through other sources besides me. So I'm trying to like suss out, who is gathering as many pieces as they can so that they can make
Right.
the puzzle that they want to make to win at the end.
Right. Right. Well, Frannie, it was great to talk to you today. Thank you so much for taking the time. It was wonderful watching you on the show. Yours was one of the most interesting and emotional journeys we've seen in quite some time. So it was great to watch you. And maybe, just maybe, your survivor journey isn't over just yet. I love to see you
Oh,
again.
John, cross your fingers for me. I want it so bad. Thank you. Thank you.
Great. Well, have a great day. And once again, thanks again for talking to us. Much appreciated.